Garrett Bowles just signed a 4-year, $82 million deal. 42 million of that is guaranteed, and he is here for what I believe will be the rest of his career. Broncos country, what is going on, man? What a great day to be a Bronco fan overall. Regardless of what happens with the season, to be honest with you, the Broncos are back. They are on the right direction. And we're going to break down what this contract means. Was it a good move? Was it a bad move? And we will take it from there. But before we do, welcome to the channel. If it's your first time, guys, I appreciate it. My name is Mark. I am with Marky Sportsman, and I am a Denver native who loves the Denver Broncos, as you can see behind me. I also love the Avs. I love the Nuggets. And if you do too, man, considering smashing that subscribe button, tell some Chiefs fans, tell some Raiders fans. I don't care. They can watch the channel. We can debate about it. But I'm trying to bring up this community, and I'd appreciate it if you do that. And if you do, tell a friend and have a friend tell a friend. Let's grow this thing. I'm almost at 500 followers. I appreciate you guys very, very much. All right. Well, we talked about this on the channel, guys. We did. We talked about this a lot. Should the Broncos re-sign Garrett Bowles? Should they not? We even talked about, this team, this front office has shown that they'll talk about contracts in the middle of the season. They'll do it at the end of the season. They don't really care. They don't really put too much of that. And I thought that maybe Garrett and his team might have tabled it, but when I was talking about that on a video a couple of days ago, little did I know they were negotiating it. Well, they got the deal done. And after really going back and forth on, is this a deal that I would make? Once it was actually done, obviously this is a no-brainer of a deal. You've got a left tackle who's a great locker room guy. He's one of the elite left tackles when it comes to pass pro. Very solid, very reliable. He's the 6th highest paid left tackle in the NFL, and I think he ranks right in that range in terms of his overall performance. But we have the luxury right now of having what I believe is a franchise quarterback, but having him at a rookie wage scale, so we can spend money on other positions to build a team around him. And there's not really many positions more important than his blind side protector and Garrett Bowles. So I love him. And you know what? A special shout out and a special kudos to him, man. You're talking about somebody that you can learn so many life lessons, professional lessons just from his story. Growing up, getting in a lot of trouble, getting his act together, getting drafted in the first round by the Broncos, absolutely struggling with penalties and, allowing so many pressures and sacks, getting booed at his home, at home. The whole town, all the Broncos country was booing him. They wanted him to get benched. And ironically, he couldn't even get benched because the backup that would have replaced him was injured at the time. But he's seen crying on the sidelines there, if you guys remember. But to his credit, did he flip it around? 2020 was a phenomenal year for him, and he's really just ascended and been really, really consistent since then. And so kudos to him. Not only has he earned one contract extension with the Broncos, this is now his second. It'll take him into his year 37 season. But he's a great player, man. But this is such a great move for the Broncos overall. And the reason that I said early in the video that it's a great time to be a Broncos fan and that the Broncos are back, because this is what an ownership group does. This is what continuity does. It builds a culture. It builds an organization that players not only love to play for, but other players now are wanting to come play for as well. Because we've shown that if you perform, regardless of where you were drafted, what your past is, if you play well, you will be rewarded by this team. And I love it. We did it with Quinn Miners. We did it with Pat Surtain. And now we did it with Garrett Bowles in season. We also did it with Jonathan Cooper in season. You don't see that very often, guys. And I think when you're trying to build a culture and when you're trying to do things the right way, this is how you do it. I love it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cortland Sutton is soon, to be honest, because that's just the way that this team is, the trajectory of the team. It now allows for us to have 4 out of the 5, starting offensive linemen that we have now. They're locked in for the next 3 seasons, guaranteed, at least. And you got to love that. You got to love that. And I think that the continuity is huge. And this will continue with just that, man. So Broncos country, I want to know what you guys think. I really, really do about this. So let me know in the comments below. But let's dive into a little bit of data, man. Let's look into this. Let's talk about this move overall. What does it mean? Is he a good player? Who is Garrett Bowles, man? And as you can see here, guys, when I talked about, I like PFF. There's some things I don't like PFF for, or there's some specific, I would say, positions that I don't really take PFF's grades too seriously in. But offensive line play, they're very, very good. Defensive line, they've got their quirks, but O line play, they're usually really solid. And as you can see here, 88.7 overall pass blocking rate for Garrett Bowles is elite. That's elite level pass pro. He's graded in all levels as a pass protector, being very well. Where can he grow and where can he continue to get better? It is in run blocking. He's never really been the best run blocker throughout his career, but he's good enough. He's really athletic, so he can get out there. He's more of a zone blocking scheme kind of a tackle, but he's definitely good enough in that department. But man, does he keep his quarterbacks upright? Here's another thing that I found to be really, really interesting, guys. First of all, in 13 games this season, and you're talking about 811 snaps, Garrett Bowles has only allowed 1 sack. And that was to TJ Watt back in week 2. He's only allowed 14 pressures and 11 hurries. Now, of the 14 pressures, look at that. 9 of them, no, not even 11 of the 14 were in the first month of the season. From weeks 5 through 13, he's only allowed 3 pressures. And not to mind, guys. I mean, he's gone up against, in the last 2 games, he's gone up against Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. Pretty damn good stuff. I will tell you that. That is some pretty good stuff, guys. And and look at the improvement overall. I mean, last year he took a little bit of a step back in the hurry department, right? 27, but still only allowed 3 sacks. The year before he had 9 hurries total and 1 sack. I think he had a shortened year that year though. But overall, he's really solid. His efficiency is really good. The thing about Garrett Bowles that's kind of interesting, and the kind of player that I really feel like he is he does very, very good things 95% of the time. His problem is the times that he doesn't do, like he messes up, it always seems like it's really emphasized. It's at the worst time. Or maybe just because as Bronco fans, we always remember all those different holding number 72 offense so often. So I think we have a preconceived notion in our head that it happens a lot, but he's not really even that heavily penalized. Compared to the other really good tackles in the NFL also. And what I can always appreciate about him is that he would definitely rather hold and eat the penalty if that means not getting his quarterback killed. So kudos to him for that. But yeah, I think, can he be better with penalties? Certainly. I think the whole offensive line can be better with penalties. But overall, I think it's a very, very smart move. The last thing that you wanted to do is go into this offseason with a huge hole at, in my opinion, the second most important position in football. Now you can just literally go best player available in the draft, fill out that roster, and get very specific needs in free agency without reaching, without feeling desperate because you let a really high quality player go. So I'm a big fan of this move. Go watch his press conference today after practice if you haven't. He's awesome. It really makes you just love a guy like him. Genuinely great guy. So super pumped, man. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys think this was a good move? Would you have rather waited? I think, if you ask me, I think it was a phenomenal move, A+ move. And believe it or not, that's at a pretty damn big discount. It's essentially a 2-year, $40 million contract, maybe more like 3 years, 55 in that range, depending on how they structure it. We maybe make a separate video on that. But I love it, guys. Go Broncos, baby. And how fired up are y'all for this Colts game? I'm pumped. We're going to have a breakdown. We're going to discuss the game in depth tomorrow. We're going to talk about some predictions, some key matchups, some PFF grades, all that good stuff in the coming days leading up to the Sunday home game. Go Broncos, baby. Spend time with those you love the most. And until the next time, peace out.